Sunday, October 11th, I went to Sekigahara, and I made a video about that. I went with my friend Nick, who was my roommate a couple years ago. I'll put a link to the video, maybe, if I have time. I'll put a link to my Sekigahara video in the notes below. Anyway, so at Sekigahara I did use a little bit of Japanese. Wasn't very good Japanese, but I was asking where some things were. Basically, when I got there, I was trying to find Nick, because Nick was in the events. They did a reenactment of the battle. And so when I got there, I was asking, where is everybody? And I wasn't really making sentences. I was just kind of throwing out words, and I was mixing in some English. So it wasn't really good Japanese, but they understood what I was trying to get at. So that worked out well. But then, so when I got to the place where everybody was, when I heard it reenactment, I was thinking about like the American Civil War reenactment, where people go and have like these encampments, and like lots of people go, and then they fight each other. So this reenactment at Sekigahara was quite different. There was a really limited number of people, and they did basically, it was like a play. Their reenactment was not in the actual location. It was a performance for an audience in a, I don't know what you'd call it, town square, basically. It was a performance in a town square. But I thought it was a reenactment like in the U.S. So when I went there, my friend Nick was part of the E clan. If you know anything about Japanese history, maybe you recognize Naomasa. He was one of Tokugawa Ieyasu generals. Anyway, so he was with the E clan, and I thought there was a huge group of them camped somewhere. So I kept asking people where E was, and nobody seemed to understand what I was talking about. So I was starting to get frustrated, and I thought it was the way I was asking, or the words I was using, and anyway, I got frustrated, but it turned out that the problem was that I misunderstood the situation. So that was my Japanese wasn't good enough to ask. I could ask like, where were they, but I couldn't ask what the problem was. So I just kept repeating the same questions over and over again to different people, and they kept looking at me like, what do you... So I was getting frustrated with myself, but actually the problem, it was a conceptual problem, not a language problem. So anyway, was kind of nice, I guess, that I didn't just have a language problem. But it's something else to keep if you're learning Japanese or any language. It's a good thing to keep in mind if you're trying to talk to somebody and they don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it's not the language, maybe you just misunderstood the situation.